Hello there, my name is Gag. I'm 40 years old. I live with my wife and two children. My son, he's I have a son who's 9 years old and one daughter who's just about 15 months old. Um, the reason I'm here talking to you is I would like to introduce you to meditation. So if you have already done meditation before, then it'll be really interesting to learn from you as well. If you haven't done any meditation or mindfulness before, it'll be really interesting again to engage and something that you can learn and try to experience as well. Now, what is meditation? That's the question usually get asked. People do ask why we should meditate. Okay. What is meditation? Meditation is a way of engaging with yourself. As simple it is. There's a science. There's a ancient science, apparently, which focuses on how you can evolve from within. So when you say evolve, how you when you use that word evolve, it's about finding the inner balance within you. How it works is it works through your senses. You use your eyes, you see, you hear through your ears, obviously, smell, nose, taste, or speak, mouth. And also touch as well, So you engage with your senses to experience the moment there and then, the present. You're not looking into past, you're not looking into future, you're just looking at the situation there and then. So that's one aspect of it, The second part is observations. In the mindfulness or meditation, you tend to avoid any kind of judgmental thoughts. They may come to you, they will probably come to you, but with the practice, you learn to not to judge them quickly. You just observe them, you look at them through your experience. You observe them and you try initially not to engage with those things. The mind will take you into those thoughts and it will try to engage, but with the practice you will start to observe that you learn a way to just observe them rather than engaging with them. So if I give you an example, when you look at the clouds in the sky, you don't really pay attention. You may pay attention sometimes, but most of the time you really don't pay attention to so many clouds. You might pay attention to one or two, but then you can't really pay attention to each and every single cloud out in the sky. So the way it works is they just pass through. The one passes, and the second comes up behind it, and then so on. So you don't really pay attention. And there's the same analogy you'll have to use. You would use with the thoughts as well. So when you do the meditation or mindfulness, you tend not to pay too much attention to those things. So for instance, if you close your eyes, if you try to engage with yourself through mindfulness or meditation way, it's kind of the same thing anyway. It's meditative aspect is a bit more deeper. But anyhow, the point is when you try to engage with yourself, you will come across with different thoughts and different feelings and different ideas, sort of thing. So initially, if you have never done the meditation or mindfulness before, it will be a little bit more challenging, especially the part when you have to close your eyes. Is people find it really difficult if they haven't done meditation before. But you will find with time, you will start to find it a bit more easier, a lot more easier to just close your eyes and just enjoy the meditation part that you would have learned through practice. So in terms of the meditation part, there is that science. There is the that I would like to introduce to you, so you can get an idea of how to use that science in your daily life. And the question is, one of the questions you usually get asked, why do people meditate? What's the point? You know, um, Now meditation is all about finding the balance of your thoughts. The deeper science, the bigger science, is obviously about finding the meaningful within you. So you find something meaningful within you, and you sort of connect with that more often, because that's who you are really. You have the external world and responsibilities and situation to deal with, but there's also you who you should connect with more. So for instance, if you spend time with your family, if you're sitting in a park or reading a book, those are the times when you're sort of trying to engage in the important aspects of your life really. um, Especially when you're on your own sort of thing, if you're listening to music, if you riding a bike, or if you're running, or if you're doing something that connects you from within, it is meaningful. So meditation brings in that aspect a bit more deeper, because you're doing a practice which focuses a bit more about within you. Um, so that's the really interesting part. If you have never done mindfulness meditation before, what you would obviously initially find this idea of connecting within or with yourself very vague. You think, well, why do I need to do that? I'll give you an example. So one of the exercise in mindfulness is, I don't know if you're aware of the mindfulness. First of all, what is mindfulness? Mindfulness is your awareness in the presence, in the present time. So you acknowledge your presence, and without judging anything, you try not to judge anything, and you just experience what it is, how it is, where it is, and you don't go into why. You just go into just observing and trying not to pass any judgment. As a human behavior, we always try to judge, and you will experience that you're trying to judge anyway. So I'll give you an example. One of the exercises that with the mindfulness, there's different elements again. Sorry, there's mindfulness eating, mindfulness listening, mindfulness talking. So there's lots of elements about mindfulness. One of the exercise is mindfulness eating. Within that mindfulness eating, the exercise is you take a grape, and you sort of, without just putting it into your mouth and eating it quickly, you just look at the grape, you look at the size, you look at the texture, you look at how it feels in your fingers. You sort of observe the bit more, looking at that, and then you sort of put slowly into your mouth without eating it quickly. Again, putting in between your teeth and biting it slowly, and let the juices come into your mouth, and you sort of experience the bit more about eating grape in mindfully. Now, the idea is not that you eat grapes or food like that, but the idea is that if you introduce that concept in your life, sort of maybe if you do like once a day or once a week, it doesn't really matter. But as long as you do mindfulness eating, what you will find, your relationship with food will change a lot, because you are allowing yourself to connect with what you're doing. You're engaging with your senses, with your taste, with your eyes, with a grape example, obviously, with the fingers, the touch, and that's how you connect. And the analogy can be used in lots of different aspects. So if I talk about mindful listening, you're listening to a sound. It could be natural sounds in forest, or in a park, or near a lake, wherever you are, or even in the house with some music on. You sort of listen to the music in a mindful way, where you sort of taking it a bit more in a connected way. You're listening to something, and it might bring some visualization. So it's about taking a step back and just doing something that you wouldn't usually do. what's the benefit of doing that? The benefit is that, one, you train your mind to look at the things in a bigger picture. You start to look things in a bigger picture. You start to acknowledge things, how they are, what they are, You try to start to acknowledge those things. So when you do these mindfulness or meditation practice, your mind will get trained to sort of just work in a very balanced way. You will start to experience that you start to experience that you're much more calmer if you weren't before, or you start to experience that your daily routine is very productive, is different. You'll experience that you have become more acceptive to different things, like, so some of the things, if you find hard to accept or adapt with, where you think you should be flexible. And I'm not suggesting that you should become flexible. Obviously you would, wherever you find your difficulties with your thoughts or stresses or anxieties, you will find that your mind start to help you not to feel anxious or stressful in some of the difficult situations. So that's, obviously, we will discuss in more detail when we start. So watch the space, and there will be more details. So I'll see you soon. Thank you.